Hey there, it's Jacques from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering Top 10 list. Today we're going to look at the top 10 most valuable foil cards from Mercadian Masques. Now, this is the third set the Wizards put out that featured premium foil cards, and we've already done a top 10 list for the first two. You can check those out on the channel in the playlist. However, Mercadian Masques is a pretty notable set. It has some very valuable foils in it, and there's a lot of staples of formats that saw print in common the first time as a foil in the set that are very sought after by collectors. So let's jump into the list. Coming in at number 10, we have High Market. This is valued at $37.57. Basically, there's a number of these lands that will give you colorless mana, but also have a very strong effect. And you're going to see a few more of these on the countdown. This one in particular was kind of a fixed version of Elephant Graveyard, but it's still very powerful in the fact that it can give you a sack outlet, especially if you're temporarily stealing your opponent's creatures, and allows you to gain a little life to boot. Number 9 is Unmasked. This is valued at $40.75. Now, this is basically Thoughtseize, but it costs 4 converted mana cost. However, instead of losing 2 life, you have the ability to exile a black card from your hand to play it instead of its casting cost. So think Force of Will, but as a Thoughtseize. So it can be pretty powerful. Now, Thoughtseize itself usually is the go-to card in this slot because it gives you the versatility to just play it on turn 1 without having to pitch another one of your cards. But this sees a little bit of play here and there. Number 8 is Tower of Magistrate, and here's another one of those lands. This one's a nice little niche card, or sometimes even a sideboard card against artifact strategies. This one's coming in at $47.33. Number 7, now this is the first common in our list, and it is Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual is a classic card, of course, was first saw print in Alpha, and then was in the core sets for quite some time. Also saw a lot of reprints and expansions, but this was the first time that it was printed with a foil premium option. And a lot of collectors still want that original foil version of it. And to get one, it's going to run you about $49.39. Number 6 is Food Chain, and this is a way to ramp into some bigger creatures, and in some ways this feels a little bit like Birthing Pod. Birthing Pod was probably sort of a fixed type version of this card, and you know how powerful Birthing Pod was, so this continues to be a huge ramp spell in certain formats. Number 5 is Bribery, and this is valued at $66.50 for a foil. And interesting fact about Bribery and cards like this, when you play these in limited, they're not always super powerful, just because your opponent's deck might not have something super powerful in it. But as you start playing more powerful formats, cards like this get better and better. So playing this in, say, an Eternal format like perhaps a Legacy in certain decks, or playing this in Commander, you can really pull some very powerful things from your opponent's deck in a lot of situations. But this card really shines in cubes, because cubes, you're just playing with the most powerful cards in Magic's history. You know they're going to be out there, so pulling this, even first picking this in a cube, is not a bad pick at all. You can pull some huge powerful creatures out of your opponent's library and put it directly into play. Number 4 is Dust Bowl, and here's another one of those lands that gives you a super powerful effect or colorless mana, and this one's valued at $74.49. Basically, this plays a lot like Wasteland, maybe not quite as effective as Wasteland or efficient, but still gets the job done and can be very powerful if you're looking for a 5th way to get rid of non-basic lands, or just another option to Wasteland. Number 3, we have Misdirection, and this one is the first to break the $100 mark at $107.36. So basically think Force of Will, but instead of a counterspell, you get a deflection out of it. Maybe not as good as Force of Will, but this was a rare, this was in foil, and it's still a very powerful card. Number 2 is Brainstorm, and this is the second common on the list. This one's coming in at $185 for this foil. So Brainstorm is a huge staple in Legacy, sees play in other formats as well. But this is the first time that you could pick up a copy, much like Dark Ritual, in the foil version, and a lot of collectors want this original foil, and there's not a whole lot of options for Brainstorm foils out there. The most recent was Conspiracy, which will run you a pretty penny as well, but this is the original. Some collectors really want this one over all others. Number 1, if you're familiar with Mercadian Masques, probably not a surprise, and it's a Rishadan port coming in at $594.72 for this foil. This is a super powerful card. It was super powerful in Standard at the time that it came out, and continues to see tons of play in the Eternal formats. Basically, don't underestimate the ability to tap down one of your opponent's lands, especially if you get multiple copies of this out and you have decks that don't have a lot of high casting cost spells in it, or just simply as a control deck you want to keep your opponent off certain colors or what have you. This card is going to be the card to do it for you. A very highly sought after foil. At this point, at time of recording, has never been reprinted, and this is the only place to get it if you want the foil version. It's going to run you about $600. Having said that, those are the top 10 foils from Mercadian Masques. Hey, as always, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day.
Hey, thanks as always for watching. This video, like all my videos, was made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Even a donation of $1 helps me to keep growing this community and creating better quality videos for all of you. Check out our Patreon page for exclusive giveaways and future goals for the channel. If you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the MTG news, spoilers, set reviews, product openings, or finance videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a good day.